All right, welcome everyone. Steve, I'm here with Geezer Cycling. Today, we're going to do things a little bit different. We're going to be commenting on a video that was posted to YouTube from this guy, Crit Dad. So let's get a little perspective here on what he's posting up here, what he's saying. Let's kind of give our opinions based on someone who's been racing their bicycle over 30 years and the people that I race with, and the comments that he's getting. So first off, this is a photo of the beginning of the Cat 4 race. Right away, I think you see a problem here, and that is they're riding into the cones. They know where the cones are. They weren't placed to this guy's liking, so he makes a video after talking to the promoter. The promoter changed moved the cones to the yellow line, basically for this guy's purpose. The cones are there to let the trucks out of these buildings that are coming through. There's just not unfortunately, we have to kind of share the complex with the trucks in order to have these races. So what you don't see is you see this week in, week out, the lower categories with the inexperienced, the lack of knowledge of the course, the lack of not following the riders in front of them when they're taking them to the cones. It's like anything else. There's a bump in the road. You know that it's there. The bump is not going to change. You avoid the bump. Unfortunately, if you keep hitting the bump, that's rider experience, and that's up to the rider. So we're going to dive into this, and let's see what he says. So first off, I want to start right there. He highlights a bad cornering maneuver from a lower category, and I don't even know why he highlights that. The corner is perfectly safe, and he highlights just a bad maneuver, which I think is pretty funny. Yeah, here you guys got hitting the cones. Don't follow someone if you think that he's close to the cones. That's it. It's very, very simple. If you're blaming the guys in front of you, he goes on to say he can't trust the guys in front of you, then don't ride on that side. It's very easy. This guy crashes and he says something about an unsafe corner or a sketchy corner. It's a downhill corner. It's actually super wide. It's super safe. It's downhill and it's fast, and that's all there is to it. That's a part of racing. If you think that it's sketchy and you're scared of it, just don't come out to race. You see that there? That's another highlight of Cat 4s just kind of bumping into each other. The difference is this happens in the higher ranks too. The problem is no one panics. That's why the crashes are a lot less, or you just don't see crashes at all in races, because bumping occurs. Sometimes guys take bad lines, but there's no panicking going on. So what he's highlighting here is everything just due to inexperience.
Oh God, CBR4. What is there to say about this race? Hey everybody, welcome back to the Cat 4 CBR4 race in Carson. Left-hand turns down a hill into a sketchy corner.
Right here, down a hill. Oh no. So we should probably have, for this guy, a race that doesn't include a downhill, that doesn't include a fast corner.
7:35 in the morning. Let's go. All right, so first thing I want to point out to the right.
So here you've got cones. You see cones. Okay, don't hit that, right? my question is, how come guys aren't way over there by those cones? They're staying away from them.
Here is how all these cones.
It seems to be that everyone makes it through this lap perfectly fine. Everyone sees the cones. Everything's good, right?
Push into the middle lane and then magically are placed on the line. So that's gonna be a problem later, and we're gonna talk about that. So why don't we just skip ahead? All right, so let's talk about the problem on the track that day. So here's the first corner, and you can see
So the problem here is, first of all, not the cones. Everyone knows where the cones are, right? You just he just showed that everyone got through the cones perfectly safe. They're fine. They're still where they're at. They haven't moved. They're still mysteriously placed in the right spot, that are in the same spot that they were before. Now is what you're seeing. You're seeing riders go way wide, and then they have to come in to the pack, which makes it a lot more difficult. Well, when that happens, they're placing themselves on the outside. This is their fault to start. If you can't come in, and guys are there but you can't come in, this is your fault. This isn't the cone's fault. Okay? The cone did not crash your bike. You crashed your bike.
you're allowed to go as wide as you want. I have video of riders going all the way to the curb, and then oh bam, oh watch out for cones. Instantaneously.
Oh, again, look at that. Well, we just made it through all the way.
Group
Huh.
pushes wide, and here it is again. The track is open. People are going to take it. You can't rely on good intentions of telling people don't go wide in the front. If the track is open, it's there. We're all slotted in on this yellow line. We think we're safe. No one sees. Oh, there's a cone, and then bam, Ben hits one on the back there.
Yeah, this guy's big mistake is actually, it looks like Crit Dad is riding so close to the cones that he has to. Let's actually rewind that a little bit here. Let's see.
We're safe. No one sees. Oh, there's a cone.
So he goes to the inside of the corner because he's riding too close to the cones. So he makes a bad decision, which in orders another guy back of him to hit the cones.
And then bam.
So, dude, this is your bad entirely. I would feel like a complete ass if this guy behind me, because I was the one that went on the other side of the cones. So this is your cone, and this is your issue, and a bad decision based off of inexperience.
Ben hits one on the back there. And Ben, I hope you're doing okay, man. Hope you come back to racing with us soon. Let's take another look at how those cones were just so difficult to see and just were in the wrong position. And the context I wanted to add to this crash that you don't see in the reel is just how invisible those cones are. And
if you've got 50 guys in front of you and you know where the cones are, okay, they'll be visible. Or don't place yourself where the cones are. It's very simple. If you put a truck or something in front of you, you can't see something. But if you know that the truck is there, you're going to move away. I mean, this guy's take on this whole thing is just unbelievable. Just a lack of knowledge for racing, a lack of knowledge for course setup, everything.
Where you have just no indication that they exist. You don't see anything on the right hand side here. You can't see anything through the group, and you
wait, there's cones right there. I can see cones.
See a big construction sign. So okay.
I can see cones right there. There's 1, 2, 3 cones. It looks like they're coming from the curb to the thing. I can see it.
We got to get over on the yellow line, and let's just stop the tape right here. You cannot see them. You see them on the right here. A couple riders move out of the way, and then
how can you not see those cones coming up? I mean, to me, when he says you can't see them, they're coming from the curb all the way to the yellow line. You've already been by like what, 5 or 6 times, and you still don't know that it's there. Again, he makes a mistake by going to the inside of the cone or following this guy. Okay, look how many riders are on his inside. He should never place himself there if he can't get inside the cones. Bad mistake.
and boom, it's like Ben just gets unlucky. He, none of us had time to see them, so a lot of the comments
But you did have time the first 5 laps, right? You had time to see them.
on the reel are just like, "How'd you not see the cones, man?" It's like you cannot see them until it's too late. You had no prior indication that they were there, other than that you've ridden the course and that you assume they're on the yellow line. Because
No, if you've ridden the course, you shouldn't assume anything. You should know what the course is. Second big mistake. This guy's assuming stuff. Know your course. Know the course you're riding on. Plain and simple as a racer. Again, very, very inexperienced decision.
because half the time they are. I don't know why they were jutting out in the beginning, so they were in the wrong place to begin with.
So half the time they are, right? So the other half has been okay until now, until you made a mistake.
And that's why the crash was caused. Uh,
Again, wrong. The crash was caused from inexperience, not a cone being somewhere jumping out at you. The cone was always there.
you can see coming up to this third corner, there's an indication and a guide of that's where the boundary is. We have an idea of where the cones are, and I put all this information in my stories, but you guys may not have seen it, and I wanted to put it in a place where we can all reference it and advocate for a better cone placement, especially in this.
So the advocating here is not doing it on YouTube, where actually you can get races canceled because people that don't know anything about the race might jump in. Any lawyers out there that decide to want to try and make some lawsuits or anything like that will actually get the races canceled. We have very experienced people racing these courses, and if there's an issue, we always go up to the promoter. We always go to the promoter. And apparently, he did go up to the promoter, and Jeff looks like he did change the cone configuration for this guy, and that was it. So I'm not understanding why he has to come on here and make a YouTube video or advocate even more than what he did when it was taken care of, just to kind of appease the lower categories. It just goes to show you that some people want to make a video just to get some views, or this isn't advocating. He got his answer. And he wanted to make it a bigger deal than what this is.
Configuration. So here was the way the cones were set up that day. And in the beginning, it caused this pinch point because they were narrower in the front, and then they got wide.
So again, in the video, you can see where he doesn't even show the cones around the sign right here, right? There's no complaining about the signs. What is the sign doing in the middle of the road? What is it? There you put cones around it. You can see it, but no one's getting close to the sign. Well, you've got cones here, and everyone, is it a pinch point? Well, you get pinch points in all races. This guy probably couldn't even handle a back east race because there's so many pinch points on a course that he'd probably be complaining for a year. The problem is here is the riders. Again, the riders make it. They go out wide, knowing that this is here. They go out wide and they come in, and then the guys behind them are inexperienced, following them right into the course. This is inexperience.
Wider at the end. After Ben's crash, they put the cones directly on the yellow line, which was the right call in the first place.
Okay, so I want to just look at this. So he put the cones on the yellow line. They're still over here, right? They're still over here, but they still make that indentation, that choke point. He's talking about 2 feet. So he's talking about putting them on a line that even if you put them up here on this yellow line, what difference is that going to make? Okay. This guy's knowledge of courses, or this guy's this is pretty silly. So this little indentation made a difference between being on the yellow line. I've seen crashes in the lower category where it has been on the yellow line and they still crash into them.
I talked to the director, Jeff, and I suggested we need indication of those cones right away at that corner, that this is the boundary. So we know that it's getting narrower and it's not a surprise. And if you agree with this, email him. He's receptive. He listened to my comments. He was very open. He wants this to be a safe race for everybody.
Okay. This is where it tells you this guy just wants to make a video and get out there and put views. He went to the promoter. The promoter is receptive, which Jeff is absolutely. Jeff is out there 100% safety for the riders. Okay. So why do this? Why make a video like this to people, for people that don't know nothing about races, to comment on it's unsafe, but they know nothing about races. They've never even been in a cycling race, or they're too inexperienced to even comment. Goes a wonder, huh?
It was just an unfortunate accident that the cones were where they were that day. And a lot of us probably thought they were on that line, which they were. And you can see in this picture how much they came out and pinched the field off, and then where they placed them after.
Here's what you don't see. Way up here, even in the corrected, there's still a pinch point, right? In this corner, you could easily just, do you see how far these guys are over here? Well, if you were over there, way over to the right to the inside, even with the cones pushed in another, 3 feet, okay, they're still staying away from here, okay? The problem is the rider.
After the crash. So I'm happy they put them in the right place after the crash. It's unfortunate that we were the guinea pigs.
This is absolutely unneeded. Posting this, guinea pigs. Okay. So again, this guy is just looking, it's unbelievable to me that we have these people in racing that are doing this kind of crap. Writing this stuff where everyone could see, the full internet could see, using them as a guinea pig. Do you think that was Jeff's intention? Do you think that was the race intention, to use the Cat 4 race to set it up this way as a guinea pigs? Absolutely not. Dude, I think you should take this video down and absolutely delete it and or fix this, because this is terrible right here. This is an outright just a, or trying to test a feature or an experiment. Totally uncalled for
this race, and that the cones just weren't in the right place to begin with. And my position on racing is not just to be a crash account.
So I'd like to know his position on racing with the inexperience that he has. How many years of racing does he actually have? So he's going to base his position on racing as a, I know nothing about the law. I've never been to have, I'm not an attorney, but imagine if I walked into a court and said, I'm an attorney today, and I've got 1 day of experience, so I'm going to represent this guy here, right? I mean, come on, dude. It's your inexperience here.
For views, it's to look at why it happened, how we can advocate together and be vocal and fix.
Yeah, why do you need to advocate and be vocal when you admit that you went to the promoter? He was accepting your being able to talk to him. He was open, and then he actually changed it. But yet you still want to go on here and make a video about it.
The problems that we are encountering in this particular configuration, and work together to make it a safe race for everyone. Please email Jeff if you didn't like the cones. We're going to talk about this section of the course, which is more about rider awareness.
Okay. Now, why is this rider awareness, but the other side isn't? You saw how fast you came up on the cones on the outside, right? So let's go here. Okay, do you see cones right now? I don't see any cones there. I see the outside cones there. Do you see those? Do you see the cones yet? Right? There's no yellow line that they're on.
We're going to talk about.
Let's keep going. We're still turning the corner. Do you see those cones yet?
This section of the course.
Okay, there's the cones. Okay, now I know I have to get over, right?
Which is more about rider awareness.
Now he mentions rider awareness. So the other side, because there was a crash, he says is the cone's fault, but the cone's still here. It's not on a line. Do you see a yellow line that the cones are on?
Because these cones have always been there, and you can see they cause problems too. But I think we can address this part of the course as a rider technique, whereas the first part I think was just
How? I would like to know how he could address this part as rider technique, but the other side is not rider technique.
an unfortunate placement of the cones. So let's go back to the third corner, and this is just a real gradual 23 miles per hour through this corner, but as the group starts to ramp up speed, the line expands, and we're going to look at what happens. Here we can see another example, 23-24 miles per hour, where the outside is open because the group is just not going very fast. So okay, maybe there's room here to pass on the outside, which is something I like to do when the group is slowing down on
Oh, he likes to pass on the outside, but when there is a widening of the pack, he can't seem to pass. So now it's got to be the cone's fault, or it's the pack's fault that he can't do because he likes to do this. This is unbelievable to me.
the corner on the inside. So here I'm able to carry 28 miles per hour past some riders, and I could just pedal through if the outside is open and the door is closed because the course ends
Oh no, the door's closed. This is part of racing, bro. Come on.
right there. Okay, so that's my first indication that this might not work. And so I try it again, because fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice. Okay, shame on me. That is a closed option. That is no longer going
So maybe you should try passing on the inside or passing on the downhill or learning where to correctly pass.
to work. And just to make sure, I go ahead and try it one more time.
This guy. This guy. So he knows it doesn't work, but he's going to try it one more time.
Because I need that third time, and it doesn't work again. So this is a rider technique for that corner. That outside is closed. That is no longer an option for the course. After that, I adjusted and I only hit that
Oh my God. It only took him, what, half the race to figure this out?
corner on the inside.
This is due to absolutely rider experience. Okay. An experienced rider knows this. Experienced rider knows how to move up on the outside. Sometimes you get places, sometimes you don't because of where the course is. Okay. So it's an experienced rider that is going to try and pass where it's viable to pass.
Side because it was the fastest way around. And here this is kind of a last ditch effort because I am tired of the sketchiness. It's been 17 minutes.
So the sketchiness, okay, is again, when you're riding in Cat 4s, we've all done it. You have to do it in order. You take 50 guys that have no experience or very, very little experience handling their bike, being close to other riders, or the lack of course knowledge, the lack of how to handle your bike on a certain course, you're going to get course sketchiness. That is what you get in the lower ranks. Everyone knows it. That's why you work hard to get out of it. It's part of racing. There's absolutely no way around it. If you want to move up, you got to go through the beginners.
If the group is slow, you can surge and get up here.
Now, he finally figured it out, right? So if the group's slow, that's when you get up and pass instead of trying to keep going on the outside where you're getting pitched into the cones.
It's going to obviously burn a match, and I talk about it in some of my other races, but it's no longer my go-to. It's kind of my last resort if I'm unable to pass the group gradually. And the idea is that you find areas of the track where the group is slowing down or coasting, and you continue your speed and safely move up.
Right. That's exactly the idea. So why try it 3 times there, like he said? It took him 3 times to figure that out.
before a corner, or you continue your speed around the outside of a corner, which I was trying to do, but it wasn't possible at this course. But you basically find places to move up while continuing your speed while the group is coasting or braking.
I want to see here. Let's hear what line that they're taking. Are they moved away from the cones?
So anyway, I didn't do that. Burned the match. I'm up here now. So this is going into the downhill section of the second corner, which was kind of...
It's great that Jeff moved the cones for this guy to the yellow line, because apparently it's easier to follow a yellow line than it is to follow the line of the cones. To me, that's rider experience again.
Sketchy, and we're not going super fast here, so the door's wide open for anyone to shoot the gap, which this rider does, and that's fine. It's just that this rider comes in late.
Probably a little late, but you left the door open there. You left a lot of room. He's way in front of you by the time he's hitting the apex. So let's wind that up a little bit.
So the door's wide open for anyone to shoot the gap, which this rider does, and that's fine. It's just that...
So you're way before the corner. He's got lots of room. That's not actually dive bombing yet. Dive bombing is when he's coming in probably on the guy in front of him, but on you, he's already got you way past.
That this rider comes in late and doesn't get there before Donovan starts his corner, so you can see Donovan had to stand up there. The lead was off to the right, so that door was wide open, so I understand, but let's just take another look at it real quick. And I have an example coming up of how to pass here before the corner, and I hate to advertise.
I'm going to be real honest here when I say this, Crit Dad. And I don't know why you're posting examples of what to do when you got it all wrong in the first place. I mean, it takes you time and time again to figure it out. Possibly, maybe you should go spend some time with some real experienced racers and come back and do some videos about what you learned with them versus what you keep trying to learn here and the bad mistakes you keep doing.
How to dive bomb, but you got to be like the first rider and
that's absolutely incorrect.
Get there before the lead out starts their corner. Obviously, the second rider got there late. Donovan stood up in time. He had the awareness.
He stood up. This is unbelievable to me. Why he says he stood up. He stands up because he wants to get on this guy's wheel. It has nothing to do with the guy coming on the inside of him. You don't stand up going into a corner, especially a downhill corner at 35 miles an hour.
To look for anybody coming on that inside corner. And as dangerous as these may be for this category, they're going to happen, so I can only suggest how to protect yourself. I talk about this in one of my other videos, is that if you're off the front, the inside line is open for you, and it's open for the taking, and it's going to be the fastest way around the track, and it's going to be the safest thing to do, to just hug all those inside corners and present that you're going to be there so people don't come around inside you. So yeah, that's the thing about this category, is that you have guys who have the ability to shoot those gaps and race at that kind of level, but then you have so many people in this field who do not.
So
that one, but
so I'm just gonna stop it right here because this guy kind of goes on, and it doesn't matter whether the cones are placed on a line. The cones are the line, plain and simple. And if you run into them, it's your fault. You should know where the cones are. This guy gives advice. It just absolutely incredibly wrong advice. No experience in really giving advice because he doesn't have the experience in racing. It took him 3 times to learn that just on this race, on the passing on the outside. Oh, no, can't do there, so I'm going to go to the inside. How many races have you done before this to where you should have known that? To me, that's just unbelievable. So anyway, I'm going to stop here, guys. Feel free to go. I'm going to leave the link to his channel. Go in there and look at his full video if you want to see. Yeah, please comment on mine if you got anything to say about how I kind of critiqued this video.